So we're looking at 7 consciousness blocks that you must remove to manifest health and wealth in 2026. 7 consciousness blocks you must remove. Not the word must. Not you can or you should. You must remove them to manifest health and wealth in 2026. So this is the pattern we're going to have this discussion. Remember I said it's going to be interactive. Welcome lovers. Welcome Kausara Abdul Karim. I call her Professor K. Welcome Timmy Ellen. Jodwi, great to have you join in. Welcome. All right, guys. It's all about Unstuck Conversations, a monthly mind rubbing that I do, powered by Winbox Center, the behavioral center based in Lekki Phase 1, Lagos, Nigeria, where I lead the team. And Unstuck Conversation is essentially about conversations around emotional and mental detox, emotional healing, mental detox, psychological recovery, behavioral modification, spiritual consciousness, all geared towards attaining your highest possible potential and enjoy the best quality of life on earth. And this is the first edition in 2026. Boom. Excited about that, and no better way to start the new year than looking at the foundational topic, consciousness. And a lot of people have heard about consciousness, but they don't really know what it's all about. Some people misconstrue it. Some people think it's just about awareness. It's beyond that. It's actually about who you are. Some actually misconstrue it to mean New Age, Buddhism, Scientology, and what have you. Some say it's ungodly. You can't be more godly than the level of your consciousness. You can't be more godly than the level of your consciousness. Because consciousness is about your fundamental reality. It's about who you are, the real you, your inner software. Not this body, really. Even though it influences this body also. Alright? And that's what we're looking at. But we're focusing today on 7 consciousness blocks. I'm adding one bonus. 7 consciousness blocks you must remove to manifest health and wealth in 2026. By the way, a lot of people set goals year in, year out. A lot of us have resolutions every year. A lot of studies have shown that it's only 8% of people that follow through with their resolution each year. Only 8% of people. As a matter of fact, another study revealed that within 6 to 8 weeks, about 80% have dropped down. They've dropped out of their resolutions. They've ignored, they've discarded the goals they set. And that's why I always say to people, it's not enough to set goals. Yes, you have set that goal for your finance or your investment or your health, your fitness, your relationship, your career, your business, growth, and what have you. You set lofty goals, fantastic goals. You've applied the principle of SMART, or the one that we developed in our SMART test model. Fantastic, but that's just the starting. You and I know that 8 or 10 people can be on the track at the starting point. 8 people can hear on your track, get set. That is, they are setting their goal. Go! But not all of them will cross the line at the same time. As a matter of fact, some of them will be disqualified from the race. And some of them will be beaten, dusted, so that by the time the first winner has crossed the line, the finishing line, 10 seconds, 5 seconds after, that's when they are just crossing the line. The truth is this: setting goal is not enough. I know you have health goals for this year. Perhaps you have dealt with some mental health breakdown in 2025. Perhaps you are carrying some emotional baggages in 2025. Perhaps you were betrayed, you were disappointed, you experienced some failure. It's affecting your ability to pursue certain goals. Perhaps it's your business. You generated 150 million naira, $1.2 million in 2025. And you say, no, it's time to go to the next level. I must 2x, I must 3x, I must 10x in 2026. Fantastic. Some of us is in a career. You want to accelerate. You want to climb that career ladder, become a manager, become a director, become a head, become a partner. Or you want to transit from one job to another, one company to another, one industry to another, or even transit from one field to another and entirely different field, or you want to transit from career to entrepreneurship. And that's your goal for this new year. Some of us is fitness goal. Some of us is diet goal, nutrition goal. And some of us is branding goal. Whatever is your goal, please, I beg you, set goal. And I'm not against that. Set goal. I beg you in the name of God, set goals. Just imagine 22 players on the pitch playing football without goalposts. So, goals have been set for them. But you and I know that the fact that there are goalposts there, and they've been told that they should score at least, they need 2-0 to qualify for the next level, does not mean they will score the 2 goals. A lot of things going into it. And that's what we are looking at. Because between setting goals and getting your goals is a huge gap that you must fill up. But what I found is that there are blocks between setting goals and getting goals for a lot of people. And I'm not bragging, I said this under the cover of the grace of God. By the virtue of my work and by my journey, brief stints for about 4 or 5 years on the radio before I stopped in 2019. The last one being sharing live vision on Inspiration FM with my good friend, Refi the Fire. For saying, I've seen many cases, people calling weekly. Then, even outside the radio, my own practice, I receive calls daily, visits to the office and what have you. In the facilitating of trainings and the workplaces, questions erupt. And each time they ask these questions, I could see the blocks. And like I said at the beginning, one of the major problems I see with a lot of us, including myself, I had to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Like Alvin Toffler said, the literate of the 21st century is not the man that cannot read or write. It's no longer about reading or write. That's no longer the definition of illiteracy. The literate of the 21st century is the one that cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. Because where you grew up in, the environment you grew up in, the kind of education you receive, formal or informal, whether you like it or not, the kind of course you study has a programming on you. There will be benefits to it, then there will be shortcomings. You will achieve in some areas of your life, you will struggle with some other areas of your life. Then your informal education from your parents, from the kind of church or mosque you attend, from the kind of people you mingle with, the experiences you have had, pleasurable experiences and unpleasant experiences you have had, then the exposure, that is other people's experiences you've witnessed, they've all programmed you. And care is not taken, if your consciousness is low or zero, the lack of consciousness will become a block, even though you are setting goals year in, year out. Even though you are hardworking. So, for you to move from goal setting to goal getting, for you to move from being a goal setter, recurrent, perpetual, chronic goal setter that is not getting results, to a goal getter, you must remove these blocks. And they are largely consciousness blocks. And that's why I like to put it this way. And this is where we drive our discussion around and look at the blocks. Then you will be walking. It's going to be interactive. That's why I say, you guys, I said at the beginning, get your pen and paper or use your phone. You don't rise to the height of your desires or ambitions or your set goals. You actually fall to the depths of your consciousness gaps. I'll repeat that. No man, including myself, including you, nobody rises to the height of his desires or ambitions or set goals. We all fall to the depth of our consciousness goals. If it's all about desires, a lot of people will be achieving their goals regularly. If it's about set goals, all the research studies alluded to one fact. Averagely, it's 8%, just 8%, less than 10% of people that set goals or have resolutions achieve it. So it's not enough to have ambitions this new year. It's not enough to set goals. It's not enough to have desires. You must be able to transit from goal setting, from desires, from ambitions to goal getting. And to be able to get goals, there are blocks you must remove. One of my pastors will always say that for every level in life, there is a new devil. These are the blocks. But oftentimes we equate devil as that black monster. No. You can be your own devil. when you lack consciousness. So as we look at these 7 plus 1 bonus gaps, we are going to do an exercise at the end that will reveal you to you. So stay tuned to the end. So 7 consciousness blocks you must remove to manifest health and wealth in 2026. So number 1, the first consciousness block. And for each one, as I explain them, I will explain them in 3 dimensions. You will score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. And I will explain to you how you will score yourself. So I will explain them. I will explain the block itself, where the block is coming from, so that you can gain awareness and you can assess yourself. Then I will explain the cost of this block. If this block persists in your life in 2026, you will see the cost. If you are having this block, you will see it in your life. You don't need a soothsayer or a prophet to tell you, except you are being insincere with yourself. Then the third dimension will be how to remove the blocks, how to reframe, how to upgrade. I believe it's going to be an interactive and very interesting next 60 minutes. Okay, so number 1, are you ready? Tegamogo, welcome. Are you ready for the first consciousness block you must remove in 2026 to manifest health, happiness, and wealth? Number 1, that block called I'm just an ordinary human being, or nothing special and exceptional about me, identity block. It's a form of identity block where subconsciously you are not voicing it out, but your inner conversation, which is stronger than your external voice, is saying subconsciously, subliminally to you. That's what you're running on. That I'm just an ordinary human being. I'm just an ordinary human being. What's special about me? What's exceptional about me? Now, it's difficult to want to admit to this if you have this identity block. You will see why it's an identity block very soon. And you will see why we're starting with identity. Because one of the biggest blocks to you moving from goal setting to goal getting in 2026 will be your identity. And a lot of people are dealing with identity coloration, stained identity crisis. We call it in psychiatry identity and psychology identity crisis. But let me not use bogus word. Call it stained identity. They don't pour palm oil for the white garment of your identity, and you won't go one bit. How you go do it now? How you go do it? And where is this coming from? Oftentimes, this identity of I'm just an ordinary human being, nothing special, exceptional about me. Oftentimes, it sounds humble on the surface, but it's actually a self-erosion. It's an unconscious way of eroding yourself, losing the real you. You don't realize this. Now, the truth is this, especially for we Africans. Should I go here? Okay, it's quite sensitive to some people, but I will just touch it a bit. I won't go deep into it. Now, a lot of us Africans, we descended from parents, grandparents, great-grandparents that are survivors of coloration, or colonization rather. Survivors of colonization. So even though they became independent, or your country became independent, or Nigeria became independent in 1960, physically, politically, or let's say socio-economically, but mentally, are we really independent? In your family, same thing. The impact, the mindset of colonization handed over from your great-grandfather to your grandfather to your father to you can be the identity block between your goals, your ambitions, your desires, and the real result you are getting. Oftentimes also Africans, we descended from survivors of forced displacement. They displaced our grandparents from their local habitats that they've all known for years to a new place, an unfamiliar territory. We also descended from parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, survivors of economic instability, survivors of cultural erosion, replacement of their culture. All these contribute to identity block until you fix it. Subconsciously, they don't announce. You don't move around. You can be wearing suit and tie. You can be wearing the best of the best of Louis Vuitton. You can be wearing the best of designer shoes, designer dresses, carrying the best of the best Hermes bag and whatever you. But identity blocks or identity coloration or crisis It's hijacking the way you see yourself. Until you fix that, it will be inviting small goals in your life. That's one of the things you will start seeing as manifestation. How do you know you have identity block? Small goals. When you want to set large goals or pursue large goals, or your boss or your manager wants to stretch you, or your coach or mentor wants to stretch you to some larger goals, you start feeling guilty. You start feeling incapable. You start feeling restless. You start feeling it as if it's strange, it's not needed, it's not necessary. What is all this? How many years are we going to spend on earth? You start silently saying all this. You also start inviting earth as a luxury mindset. You start seeing health as a luxury, not as a responsibility. You start seeing wealth as a threat to your work with God, your faith in God, your relationship. I want to work with an entrepreneur, fantastic entrepreneur, very brilliant lady. But because of what she saw growing up, how wealth destroyed the marriage of her auntie. And how everybody was saying it, that she was proud because she had money and everything. Subconsciously, she didn't know that that's what was limiting her business. Until she was referred for executive coaching, and we identified 3 major blocks. And one of the blocks was wealth as a threat, an identity crisis, identity coloration from what she experienced. Remember I said, your programming comes from your environment, your education, your experiences, and your exposure. It can even be other people's experiences. That's what we call exposure. Other people's experiences that you witness, whether through TV, through magazines, through social media, or through direct hearing. All right? So this is what the block is all about. A lot of us Africans especially, I'm not saying only Africans, but we experience this. Then you start passing it across to your children also. A lot of us are victims of this. Our parent told us, don't you think do you think you are better than others? That's what they say to you. Do you think you are better than others? Who do you think you are? You have to be content with your portion. Sometimes they will even back it up with scripture. Contentment with godliness is great gain. Meanwhile, they are lifting that content with the wrong context. In theology, you must balance content with context. So, some even equate it as humility. Meanwhile, you are confusing humility with self-diminishment. You are diminishing who you are, because actually, the truth is this. You are the image of God operating in human form. I don't think you understand what I meant. Image of God means that every functionality of God exists in you. I've not seen an image. Any image that is drawn by a painter that does not look like the person is not the image of that person. The painter should go and learn work from Fola Davis and Co. Talk more of God, who is perfect. So if God hears and sneezes opportunities using his, in quotes, sensory organs of ears and nose, then functionally you should be able to do that. God's vision of starting with one man is to have 8-point-something billion people on earth now. You have the capacity to do that. And that's what the image of God, you are just operating in the human form. So when you start thinking that aspiring to acquire this or to attain this is doing too much, or it's not a big deal, or you are even condemning others, there's an identity block somewhere. Or you are equating contentment with self-erosion, self-diminishing. Something is wrong with your identity somewhere. As a matter of fact, in Nigeria especially, you hear statements, you hear things like standing out attracts suspicion or show off. People will think, especially you are a lady, if you stand out too much, you attain certain career level too much, then people will think you are showing off. or it's pride. Or some will even tell you, when you stand out in the workplace or you stand out in the way you do things, it can attract some spiritual attacks, spiritual enemies. So in fact, oftentimes, I've seen this a lot of times, people in Nigeria are praised more for endurance than excellence. When you endure rubbish instead of pursuing excellence. 2 days ago, somebody called me and described the situation of our workplace. And not like we hear, if they were all true, was toxicity pro max. So I asked her, how long have you been in this workplace? And she said 13 years. And I'm not joking. This is a company that has hundreds of staff in Nigeria. She said she's been there for 13 years. She's only had promotion twice. And the twice promotion is within a narrow band. I don't want to share her salary so that I don't give too much information. And I'm wondering, what chained you to this organization for 13 years? What blinded you to see any other opportunity out there? What deceived you to believe this is your bus stop? Identity block. Identity block. So, the cost of this will manifest in your wealth creation. You will be avoiding goals that stretch you financially. You'll be avoiding goals that stretch you financially, saving goals, investing goals, and what have you. Learning more about investment, about saving, you will be avoiding it subconsciously without realizing. You'll be underpricing your talent, underpricing your skills. You'll be having predictable income ceilings. You want to break beyond that ceiling of the income you are generating, but it's just recurring. And you are believing that maybe some people have placed a spell or something on you. You'll be avoiding bold moves, audacious moves. You even be rejecting opportunity to scale, partnership, and what have you. That's how it costs you in your wealth. It will cost you in your health also, this identity block. It will cost you in your health because your body mirrors your identity. That's what a lot of people don't know. Your body mirrors your identity. As a matter of fact, your cells, the tiniest cells in your body, eavesdrop on your internal conversations. The way you address yourself, the way you describe yourself in your head. Your cells pick them up. Wondering, why is Mr. A attracting all these opportunities and I'm not attracting? Let me quickly say this to you in the principles of consciousness, which I think I should touch on what consciousness is actually about. In the principle of consciousness, everything you need and seeking for already exists. It's scriptural. Time will not permit me because we need to touch all the 7 or the 8. We are still on number 1. I will have proved to you in scripture, in psychology, in energy, quantum physics or energy medicine or energy psychology. Everything you need and you're seeking is already in existence. I've not achieved or attained everything I need or I'm seeking also. I'm a work in progress. Like I said from the beginning, we are all learning, unlearning, and relearning. And if you are not doing that, you are an illiterate. But you must realize within you, it's one of the ways you must fix this identity block, that everything you need and you are seeking already exists in the quantum field. As a matter of fact, I regard God is the ultimate. He rules in the affairs of men, no doubt. But I regard him as the quantum field of possibilities, infinite possibilities, limitless possibilities, and we all exist inside that. So everything you are seeking is not creating anything new. Everything, the healing, the career promotion, the financial goal, what have you, the happiness, everything already exists. So when you achieve something, when you get something, it wasn't created. Oh, I created my happiness. You are not creating your happiness, really. If we break it down into the psychology of it, you have just tuned to the frequency of your happiness. It already existed, but you were not tuned to it all the while. Just like if I bring a transistor radio here now, all right? I won't hear anything until I tune into a particular frequency of a radio channel. So, Inspiration FM 92.3 is in this sitting room upstairs now. Sound City 98.5 FM, for those of us in Lagos, is in this room. Classic FM, Niger Info FM, Beat FM, Reading FM, Echo FM, Metro FM, they are all in this room. I can't hear any of them until I get the device to tune in. You are that device, you have that capacity already, but you need to tune in. And one of the ways of tuning in is to fix your identity, the way you see yourself. Society is selling something wrong to you. Even your fathers, your great-grandfathers, yes, they love you. They didn't intentionally do that, your parents. But they sold you some wrong identity that you must unlearn to relearn the right identity for you. It's not humility to diminish yourself. So, in leadership also, you will find it manifesting in the kind of vision you have. Your vision collapses into survival management. You are just surviving, and you are calling it vision. You will be reactive as a leader. Then in spiritual life, you will start outsourcing power to pastors, to prophets, to systems, instead of embodying and embracing that responsibility. The people become demigod over your life. I'm not saying pastors are not needed. I believe if I have my own pastor. I'm not saying prophets are not needed. I believe in the prophetics. But when you outsource your direct relationship with the creator of the universe, that's a consciousness gap. There's nobody has the right to be an intermediary between you and your God. That's too much power to outsource to anybody. They can groom you, they can disciple you, they can help you to grow, but the goal is to connect. But when you have an identity block, I'm not good enough, I'm too sinful, I've made too many mistakes, I've messed up my past. Can anything good come from somebody from a broken home? My mother had a broken marriage, my great grandmother broken marriage, my sisters had broken marriage. Then subconsciously, you are not saying it out, but subconsciously you are expecting to be like that. Identity block. It can be fixed. And that's why you are here this new year. How do you fix it? It's about reframing the meaning. The anchor for your identity is the meaning you gave to what happened via the education you received, the environment you grew up in, the experiences you had, and your exposure. The meaning. By reframing the meaning. For example, I use recommended glasses. I have short-sightedness. I can't read clearly what is far away. All right. Now, if any of you here that does not have short-sightedness were to give you my eyeglasses, the frame, my power is minus 0.25. I'm mixing it up now, pardon me. And I give it to you. You will struggle to walk around there, even though without glasses you can walk around in my house, to go downstairs, to come upstairs, to go to any of the rooms. You will struggle. Most likely you will even have some accidents. Why? Because I've changed the frame with which you are seeing the environment, with which you are seeing what you are interacting with. But if I remove that frame and you use your own normal lens, then you see clearly. And that's why we say in psychology, we don't see things as they are. We see things as we are. So reframing is about changing the lens with which you are seeing what happened to you. So instead of saying I'm just an ordinary human being, nothing special is exceptional about me, replace it with I'm the image of God operating in the human form. I'm a conscious human being with extraordinary adaptive capacity. You may want to write this down. Humility is not thinking less about myself. That's not humility. Humility is not thinking less of myself. That's a strong statement you need to anchor your soul. Humility is not thinking less of myself. It is refusing to lie about my real identity and capacity. That's humility. Refusing to lie or to accept a lie about my identity and capacity. And it is not arrogance to want to become the best version of yourself. It is a biological, neurological, historical, and spiritual truth that man aspires to become the best version. It's only when primary and societal conditioning that happens that suppresses that instinct in you. It's instinctive. So because of time, I need you to score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 on this identity block. The identity block of I'm just an ordinary human being, or nothing special or exceptional about me. So how do you score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10? How absent is this in your life? How absent is this in your life? If it's totally absent, you don't have this to deal with, score yourself 10. That is, it's totally absent. But if it's present in your life, score yourself between 0 and 9, depending on how strongly present in your life it is. If it's strongly present, you score yourself low, meaning that you are not having the opposite, the right identity. So score yourself low, 0 or 1 or 2 or 3. But the more you have removed this identity block, increase the score. Maybe 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 being you have totally healed or restored identity. Do that quickly. Let's move to number 2. Are you ready for the second consciousness block you must remove in 2026 to manifest your health and wealth? Welcome, property in Lekki Ikoyi. Please don't forget the arrow at the base of your screen. Click on it. It takes you to your followers. Click on as many followers as possible for them to join in this conversation. Welcome. Call me Bliss. I like that. Call me Bliss. Welcome. Mike. Fine. Welcome. Flourish. Welcome. Flourish Life Center. Sorry. Lumide Emekon. Welcome. Anoluwa. Welcome. The Clutter NG. Welcome. Is Uzo. Welcome. And everybody, I welcome you. Moyo Sioluwa. Welcome. Second consciousness block you must remove. Remember, we said consciousness is about your fundamental reality. Embodying this fundamental reality of who you are, who you were designed to be. Embodying it is key to moving from just the bandwagon that set goals year in, year out without achieving anything to getting goals. If you want to continually setting goals, doing the mechanical approach, fantastic. Setting goals is needed, like I said from the beginning. You need to set goals. You need to have a goal that you're pursuing. But you just be doing activity, no productivity, when the gap between setting goal and getting goal is not bridged. And for you to bridge it, you must remove the blocks in your consciousness. In your consciousness. And that's what we're doing. Number 2 is that inherited scarcity identity. It's still about identity. Inherited scarcity identity, or that survival mode mindset block. Survival mode mindset block. The problem with survival mode mindset is this: it doesn't announce itself. They shout. They shout at all. And a lot of us battled it. Some of us have conquered it. I battled it for a while. I've conquered it to God's glory now. But a lot of us are still dealing with it without realizing. How do I know that you're still dealing with it? You will soon know now, and you will score yourself also. Just a minute, please. So, have you heard statement like this, or have you thought of statement like this, or do you usually think of statement like this? People like us don't get jobs in so industry. People like us, because I'm not from a connected family, I'm not from a rich home, I'm not from a particular region, we don't get jobs in a particular kind of industry. People like us don't get rich. People like us don't have wealthy networks. People like us don't live long or stay healthy. My father died at so age, my mother died at so age. People like us don't stay long in marriage. Nobody, my mother didn't stay in marriage, didn't enjoy good marriage. My sisters are experiencing the same thing. You don't say it out, because nobody wants to wish themselves bad things. But subconsciously, if you check within yourself, that's the way you think. Silently, even though you're avoiding facing it and dealing with it. Or statement like you are silently saying it, or you won't interact with your friends using this statement like businesses are not moving generally. How many businesses you sabi? How many businesses do you know? Have you encountered? Pata at max, you know about 50 businesses. Really know about them. I said, and we have over 10,000 businesses in Lagos alone. The businesses are not moving. Businesses are not moving. IGR in Lagos is increasing. That is the tax people are paying. Businesses are paying, increasing. Can't you see you are deceiving yourself, or you are allowing yourself to be deceived? Survival mode mentality or inherited scarcity identity. There's not enough to go around. Jobs not there anywhere. Jobs not there anywhere. Hypertension full Nigeria. There's hypertension everywhere. Diabetes runs in my family. Yes, we're not denying the fact. But like I always say, and in the genetic medicine, you can inherit a bad gene for diabetes, but it doesn't automatically translate to the disease. That's why we have genetics and we have epigenetics. It's just like this house now. Now, let's say I'm not at home and I return back around 4, 5 a.m. Nobody has switched on the light or power the house. Everywhere will be dark. But does that mean that there's no voltage entering my house, flowing through the electrical circuit? No. The voltage may be in the electrical circuit, but it has not translated to light. Why? Because somebody has not switched on the gadgets or the power. The same thing with the bad genes you might have inherited. Something must switch it on. That's what we call epigenetics, the study of that. And essentially it's environment and lifestyle, the way you think, the way you live, the way you believe, the way you act. So inherited scarcity identity or that survival mode mindset is what you must remove this year. Because it will influence the way you see yourself, the way you think about others, the way you think about opportunities, the way you see opportunities, the way you make decisions, and the way you take actions. Some also, the survival mode mindset manifests in form of operating permanently from an emergency consciousness. Emergency consciousness. Until things become an emergency, you don't take decisions or take actions. You have a survival mode mindset. It's stemming from a trauma or something you have experienced in the past. Until your rent is due, you start, or is about to be due, you don't make moves. Until they chase you out of the house you are squatting in, or they start treating you badly, you don't wake up. That it's time to move, to start putting things together, upscaling your value so that you can get more income to get your own apartment. Until that car mess you up, embarrass you right, left, slap you right, left, and center. Before you wake up. Until that health issue becomes a disastrous impact in your finance. Don't do something about your lifestyle. You are operating for a survival mode mindset because you are operating permanently from emergency thinking, consciousness. Just like some operating permanently from scarcity consciousness. Some, it's about Nigeria, inflation, insecurity everywhere, unstable economy everywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, this manifests in form of self-sabotage. You will not see opportunities. There are opportunities around you, but you will not see it. I don't know if you are the type that is always claiming that there is no opportunity in Nigeria. Yes, if you want to jackpot, fine, fantastic, no problem. But opportunities abound around. Opportunities abound around. And people are taking it if you can see it. Yes, there are some things that are not yet there in our country, but opportunities abound. And when I caution people on the way they talk and complain, complaining is a programming. You are dampening, weakening your consciousness. That is your ability to connect with your higher self, your inner self, to see opportunities around. You become reactive in decision. You have short-term thinking. The poor investment. These are the costs. How do you reframe, upgrade this? We need to move faster now. Please note this. Whatever you have inherited from your great-grandfather or your ancestry, realize that your ancestry only explains your starting point, not your destiny. That's the way to reframe, to break that identity block. Is number 2. Your ancestry only explains your starting point, not your destiny. Also, you must realize that everything you need is already in existence. Like I said, in the quantum field, everything you need and you're seeking for is already in existence. Nothing is being created new. Now you know they tune in to the right frequency. And until you tune in to the right frequency with your inner software, that's your consciousness, the way you see your identity, the way you see yourself, the way you see life, the meaning you give to what is happening to you, your dominant beliefs and dominant feelings. This constitutes your electromagnetic frequency. And I'm not saying this for saying sake. Yes, they generate electromagnetic waves. They generate electromagnetic energy. Science has proved it. As a matter of fact, your thoughts generate electromagnetic energy. Any thought you are able to hold for 17 seconds, not breaking that thought. Once you can hold that thought about you for 17 seconds, begins to generate electromagnetic energy. When that 17 seconds doubles, the energy goes to the next level. When it triples, when it quadruples, something happens. But that's not our focus for today. Also, even in chaos and crisis, some people are able to shift their consciousness to manifest calmer results. So why not you? I've seen people that it's crisis that bet the business they are doing now. I've seen people that it's crisis in the workplace that push them out and led to a double promotion in another organization. And that's why you must realize that it is not the storm that capsizes a boat. It's not the storm that capsizes a boat. It's the water that gets into the boat during the storm. Number 3, the third consciousness block you must remove in 2026, my brothers, my sisters, is to realize. Please, you can put your question there. I'll be looking out for it. Precious, you can also help me call my attention to it, or love. I like what Oremi Craft just typed out. My ancestry only explains my starting point, but not my destiny. I have to give meaning to my future. Fantastic. Please call yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 for the inherited scarcity identity or survival mode mindset block. Score yourself. Remember, if you don't have it at all, score yourself 10. If it's a bit that you have, maybe you have dealt with it, just a bit remaining, score yourself about 8 or 9. But if you still have it massively, score yourself around 0 or 1 or 2 or 3, depending on how strong that is. Then number 3, the third consciousness block you must remove is religious bypassing of responsibility. That block of religious bypassing of responsibility, this is quite dominant in Nigeria and in Africa. We feel that by religious rituals, some religious activities, we can bypass certain responsibility. I've had to keep quiet severally with some mentees. I've had to keep quiet. I've also been a victim of this. And so let me not paint a picture of perfect person. No. In fact, aside my consulting firm, I have a couple of other businesses. One of the businesses is an investment firm, a small one. We give express loan. 2 of us. We are 2 partners, and does not mean you write to me for loan. No. We are dealing with some issues now, so we are not giving anything for now. So the one that led us into the issue we are dealing with presently, 2 of them, in fact 3. One was due to my partner through my fault, and one of the 2 loans we gave her, and this is a couple of millions, significant amount of money. I bypass protocols because this person is a pastor. I was spoken at their church, became friends for several years, so no collateral. And because he has a business also, usually there are protocols to that. I bypass it and it burns my finger. We are yet to collect the money back more than 1 year after. The same thing in your personal life. I've seen people outsource responsibility they are supposed to take to God. Literally. They spend all time, Monday to Saturday to Sunday, in church, in mosque, good night vigil, and I'm not saying it's wrong if you have fixed things in your life. But there are principles that govern every area of life. You cannot pray your way out of weight loss if you have genetic inherited genes for storing fat in your adipose tissue. If you have that genetic makeup of being big, you cannot pray your way out of weight gain. You have to consciously be intentional about your dietary control and about your physical activity. You cannot pray yourself out of coming down with hypertension if by the time you are crossing 21, you are not conscious about your lifestyle, no matter your prayer. And I'm saying this with all respect to all the religious leaders. I've seen all manners of cases, including pastors, with malignant hypertension, including chief imams. I've seen people die in their sleep or slumber and die, and they say it's spiritual attack. Whereas uncontrolled hypertension or diabetic ketoacidosis, you cannot pray your way out of it. So you are looking for a job. Why you go to pray, fantastic, but don't turn it to another job. Don't turn it to another job. Start looking for how to upskill. If you are struggling to get a job, that should be a feedback to you that your skill is not enough in the market, or you are not positioning your skill well. So you start thinking of or asking questions of how to position your skill better. You have the skill. Speak to people. Or you don't have enough skill in that industry, in that kind of job you are looking for. Go and get that skill. It may be through volunteering or through internship or through going for a course. There are principles that govern each facet of living. You will not mix it up and expect results. And it's insanity doing the same thing over and over again and expect a different result. Ladies and gentlemen, don't bypass your responsibility this new year in the name of religious activities. Do your prayers, do your praise and worship, fantastic. But don't use it to replace the responsibility you are supposed to take. You know them. Your conscience. There's a portion of God in you that bears witness to you. We call it conscience, we call it instinct, we call it whatever we want to call it. Because the cost of this is that you will experience delayed wealth. You will blame it on people. The level of wealth you are supposed to attain at 30, at 35, at 40, you may experience that delayed wealth in 50, 60, till you wake up your consciousness to your responsibility. It can lead to dependency. It can lead to repeated disappointments and more frustrations. How do you reframe this? Realize that prayer is one of the keys. It's not the master key. It's one of the keys to life, but not the master key. Praise is one of it also, if you want to go religiously. Praise and worship is one of it. Yes, God inhabits the praise of his people. Praise. Giving is one of it also. But ladies and gentlemen, skill is also one of it when it comes to financial freedom. Skills, because money follows value. So you are graduated, you have BSc. What skill do you have, my friend? What skill do you have? Ask yourself the question and answer it. You are a BSc computer science, but what IT skill do you have? Because of time, score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. Don't forget, 10 if you don't have this block in your life at all. This religious bypassing of responsibility. If you have it a bit, score yourself between 6 and 9. But if you have it massively, score yourself between 0 and 5. 0 if it's fully there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if it's just moderate. Alright? Then number 4, quickly. The fourth consciousness block you must remove to manifest health and wealth in 2026 is what I label or tag stress is success block, or suffering is noble programming block, or what I in psychology you can call collective trauma amnesia block. But forget the jargon. Let's just limit it to stress is success programming block, or suffering is noble programming block. And remember, programming, know they shout, know they announce itself, they know the right time for forward. It's subconscious. These are internal conversations that you may not even realize except you develop consciousness to pick it. These are belief systems that have been with you, sometimes chronically, handed over to you from your parents. Stress is success. That for you to be successful, it has to come with stress. You have to suffer. And it sounds as if it's right. I had to work on myself to break free from this also. because I inherited that also. The blocks will manifest as Ozu. Ozu. At your young age, you are not sleeping. No sleep. Eat anyhow. Just eat wherever on the road. Pump into your system 2 or 3 bottles of energy drinks or soda drinks. I don't want to mention brand. Rarely sleep. Ozu, 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 Ozu. Or suppress your emotion. Don't talk to anybody. Don't express politely your feelings. Don't seek help. Or you believe that it can manifest as you believe that pain, struggle, and exhaustion are proof of virtue, proof of hard work. In fact, in African context, some will refer to it as you must suffer to succeed. You know how they garnish fine mantras, fine magazine, fine African adage. If it's not helping you to get result, then it's not working for you. It's time to delete it. This popular one I just remember now. No food for lazy man. Yes, no food for lazy man. No doubt. We are not encouraging laziness. But it has a way of programming you to the extreme also. Or you are dealing with a problem for too long. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. Please listen to this. Year 5. And some people are saying God is testing you. Yeah? What do you do, God? Where God is testing? Even job, where God tests. How many years God test job? You have been on the same issue, the same problem for 10, 12 years. And that person, that religious leader is telling you God is testing you. That's a feedback to you, my friend. Your consciousness needs to go up to know what that issue is giving you as a feedback. What you need to tweak. Blocks you need to remove. Even in businesses, you hear them say, overwork is a badge of honor. Overwork is a badge of honor. A lot of this stems from colonization, from war, from losses we have experienced in the platform, displacement, from griefs you have experienced, from scarcity also. The cost can also manifest in your, let's look at the cost quickly, in your health, hypertension, diabetes, mental health breakdown, emotional numbness. You have become numb to your emotion. You have been verbally and emotionally abused for years in that workplace. If I leave, where will the job come from? You have consciousness block. I'm not saying you should leave suddenly, but if you don't force to remove that block, you will not go see clearly. You will not go see clearly. Burnout is also another cost of this. Stress-related illness, physical pains, and what have you. Scarcity cycles. You see your life in scarcity cycles. So, how do you fix this? Or score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 quickly. For stress is success, or suffering is noble programming block. If this is not present at all in your life, score it 10. It's not present at all in your life. Or it's a bit present, score it 7, 8, or 9, depending. But if it's massively present in your life, you know yourself, call yourself between scale of 0 to 5 or 6. Now, how do you reframe? How do you remove this block? Remember, reframing is about changing the meaning you are giving to what has happened or what is happening. One of the statements you can use to change the meaning you are giving to what has happened or is happening in your life is this. Please, you may want to write this down. Wealth that destroys health is delayed poverty. I say this without mincing words. I've seen too much. I'm being careful when I'm talking in the public by sharing the works I've done. I don't think in the last 10 years, I don't think I've been privileged to handle less than 10,000 lives. Less than 10,000 lives. Whether as a group or as individuals. As a group in their organization or as individuals. Through executive coaching or through therapy or through training or speaking. And I've seen a lot. And I can tell you without any atom of doubt, wealth pursuits that destroys health is delayed poverty. One major health crisis will wipe off all the savings you have ever saved in the last 20 years. I say this without any atom of doubt. So you got to replace that mentality. You are not sleeping. You are not taking a leave from work for the past 7 years. And you think you are successful. You are pursuing success. My friend, you are pursuing poverty. Delayed poverty. Because when the breakdown will happen, you will wipe off all the success without traces. Also, write this down. Another way to reframe, to remove this block, to upgrade your mindset, your consciousness. Ease and rest are not sins, are not moral flaws. Ease and rest, they are intelligence. It's only intelligent people that know when to take break. It's foolishness to not know when to take break. 2019, I was at the verge of, I had burnout. I was at the verge of mental breakdown. Because I felt I have a lot to achieve. I did that about 3 years of internship across various consulting firms, because moving from clinical work to consulting is a whole lot of work. A whole lot of shifts in my mindset, how to embrace work. Clinical work is different from being a medical doctor with the Air Force, moving to consulting after going for some courses. Then from 2012 to 2015 of internship across various consulting firms. So when I started Winbox in 2016, I felt I'm lagging behind, so got to work. I put in all the work, and yes, it yielded. By 2017 November, from 2016 May, by 2017 November, we started getting good jobs coming in. I tell you, by 2019 September, I will wake up and struggle to get out from bed. I would get to the office, I was highly irritable and edgy. I could speak, I could facilitate training for 8 hours, not feeling tired, but this time around 1 hour, I'm tired, struggling. I was struggling with motivation, I was struggling with releasing my creative juices. To compose and put together proposals or write curriculum and content for a learning program was tug of war, it wasn't flowing. And being a medical doctor, a neuroscientist, and psychologist for that matter, I didn't realize it was burnout. I didn't realize until one day God wanted to save me. A church invited me to speak on burnout. When I started doing research to prepare what I would speak on, I saw myself in the laptop. Everything I was researching. It dawned on me, you need to take a break. So I managed to just finish that year. By second week of December, we shut down the office, closed them, and that's what started the legacy of closing by second week of December in my office. I shut down, packed my loot, thank God for the resources available, escaped to Dubai for 2 weeks to 3 weeks, I think roughly 3 weeks. A rebooting happened, and I came back in 2020. Self-care is not selfish. Please put that down also. Self-care is not selfish. Vulnerability is strength, not a weakness. If you need to talk to people, talk to people. I'm a man, no, they cry, not lie. Not lie. As a matter of fact, when you express emotion, your emotional issue, your emotional strain, it means that if you are able to talk to the right person, it means that you are secured enough in yourself. That's a strength, not a weakness. When you don't want to speak and you needed to speak because you are sinking, that's a weakness. Vulnerability is strength, not weakness. And healing of the body and your nervous system is a wealth strategy. You must know this in 2026. So score yourself. On a scale of number 5 now, the 5th consciousness block you must remove. Because of time, I will need to move faster. The 5th consciousness block you must remove is unhealed authority trauma block. Unhealed authority trauma block. If you have been under any form of authority, whether parental authority, spiritual, religious authority, or political authority, or career authority, or business authority, the tendency is there that there will have been a bit of some conflict that will have traumatized you. Yeah. I've seen some ladies that work with that the way they view men stems from what their father did to their mother or to them. Father authority trauma. I've seen someone that, and this is real life, 3 years ago, She was referred to us for executive coaching, a tech firm. 7 years of his life, immediately after NYC, where he served, he was retained, and he worked the last 4 years of his stay in that organization was under a woman, a short woman, who was vindictive, who was a narcissist, there's a word like that, who was cantankerous. But he didn't realize that he was traumatized by all the emotional, verbal abuse he experienced in the hands of that woman, because the woman diminished him. So that by the time he left there and he moved to another business, another organization as a manager, he didn't realize subconsciously how he was treating the ladies that shot. All you need to be in the red book of this guy without him realizing is just for you to be a lady and be shot. If you dare question his authority or question his opinion or suggest an idea that is different from his, there's an emotional flooding of what he has been traumatized by. So he interprets this meaning of you want to diminish him subconsciously without realizing. So he reacts. The Voltron in him comes up. And it's become an issue in that workplace. And he didn't realize it until he came for session. And we did Oyela for you to see where the issue was coming from. If you don't know the meaning of Oyela, just keep it and go and Google it. So unhealed authority trauma block. It can manifest in the form of distrust of leaders, reactive behaviors to certain sects of people, certain tribe, certain religion. If you are too reactive to certain people, you never can tell your helper may be from that tribe or that religion. But you have ostracized and isolated yourself from that group. Distrust of system. Anything the government does, it's not to the benefit of the people. You don't even give it a shot. There are students that are struggling with funds, but there's no fund. You cannot get it if you don't have connect. You are deceiving yourself. You have a consciousness block. There are people that are getting it. Yes, can there be some issues? Yes. But that's why it should be a feedback to you. How are people overcoming that issue? Nothing is safe to you a la carte on earth. You have to fix certain things and remove certain blocks. All right? Distrust of institution. Ladies and gentlemen, the cause can be in form of inability to submit to process. A lot of Nigerians have this anyhowness tendency, and I believe it's from unhealed authority trauma. Our political leaders have traumatized us so much that we don't believe in process again. But what we don't realize is that it's pervading into every facet of our living. We have this anyhowness mindset. Even in our business, we want to do anyhow. In the way we drive, anyhow. Even in medicine, you will see patients. Somebody that has a serious illness, prescribed medicine, you must take it this particular way. But the person will miss 2 days and want to take, by the third they want to take all the 2 days he missed and take it at once. The people that studied it and said you should take one morning and night, they want day 2. Do you think they are fools? Then when something happens now, you blame the doctor, blame the health institution. Anyhowness, inability to submit to process. Listen, no matter what God promises you, He extols the process above the promise. God promised the Israelites a promised land, the new land, Canaan. He promised to take them out of Egypt to their promised land, their destination, their own land that they can call their own, flowing with milk and honey. But he knew that there's a process to getting them there, because if they leave Egypt like that and get to Canaan land, even though they have left physical Egypt, but they are still mentally in Egypt, they will go and replicate the cultures and the norms of Egypt in that new promised land. And it's a matter of time, that promised land, the new land, will become Egypt. So he needed to take them through a process of pruning them. Even though it was supposed to take 40 days. Even though Naim promised them. But he didn't mind 40 days turning to 40 years, as long as the processing is complete. This new year, you can't be doing anyhow. There's a process for getting promotion in your workplace. There's a process for managing that health issue. There's a process for losing that weight. There's a process for growing your business. There's a process for getting engagement of your staffs, getting them to take ownership. There's a process for communicating with people, for selling. Go and learn it and master it. Say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Also, some people inability to submit to coaching, to feedback coaching. They don't take feedbacks. They don't take feedbacks. Some people inability to submit to long-term structures. You see, it's choking me, it's suffocating me. Businesses thrive on structures and systems. So how do you fix this? Well, before you see how you fix it, score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 regarding unhealed authority trauma block. Unhealed authority trauma in your life, from your parents or from political leaders, from religious leaders. Some of us is religious trauma, religious leaders trauma, religious authority trauma. We've concluded that all pastors are the same. So you are not feeding your spirit because of one that misbehaved, or because of what a previous church did to you. So, score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. Then how do you fix it? Reframe. Change the meaning with words. It's a battle of words. One of the statements you must anchor on your soul is this: healing authority wounds unlocks scalability and leverage. When I'm able to heal the authority wounds in my life, I unlock scalability of my business, or I unlock my career leverage, what I can leverage on in my career. Also, another one you need to anchor to your soul is there's no one as blind and deaf to opportunities as someone who takes no feedback. There's no one as blind and deaf to opportunities as someone who takes no feedback. Don't matter. It doesn't matter. You are blind and deaf. When they are giving you feedback, that coach or mentor or friends or even life itself, you are blind and deaf to it. Number 6, the 6th block you must remove this 2026 to manifest health and wealth: money, shame, and moral confusion block. Money, shame, and moral confusion block. One way or the other, a lot of us, at one point in life, we've experienced this. Some of us have come out of it. I have totally come out of this. I'm being honest with you. Those that the ones that have not come out of fully, I will tell you, I've been telling you, I've totally come out of this, and I'm seeing the result. What do I mean by money, shame, and moral confusion block? Some of us, we've tried to make money or to build some wealth systems, and it's been tough. And because of that, you see some others doing it easily, and you hear what people are saying, or you hear what your parents have told you about an uncle in the family, what he did to make money, and you conclude for someone to make it easy, they've done something bad. So you see a lady in your office rising in her career. As a fellow lady, you're concluding she's sleeping her way to the top. Well, perhaps because she dresses well and she's social, she relates with all the executive boards and co. Well, who told you? Yes, there are people doing that, but she may be different. And there are people like that. I've seen people like that. You didn't take time to study what is working for them. It could be our social intelligence, ability to communicate with, our audacity, our confidence, our PR, our branding, our dressing. It could be our ability to connect, build networks, to relate. It could be our decision making. It could be our bravery. Or you just conclude, and therefore you lock yourself to opportunity to learn what can work for you. Other forms that this block manifests is wealth is dirty. Wealth is dirty. For somebody to be wealthy, you have to play the dirty game. That's a lie. There are those that play the dirty game, but there are those that are making wealth, creating wealth the clean way. And it's very much possible. All right. Another one. I remember one now. Charging premium for your skill. If it's a scarce skill or a high skill, high value skill, charging premium for it, or especially curating a product and charging premium for it is greedy or evil. People are suffering. So charging premium for this is greedy or evil. You have a money shame or moral confusion block. You don't know what morality is. You are not able to, you are confused about morality. Or all rich young people are into frauds or rituals. Or if you don't come from a wealthy home, life has already defeated you 1-0, 2-0. Consciousness blocks. Or rich people are suspicious by default. Anyway, some even quote scripture, money is the root of all evil. Meanwhile, they are quoting wrongly. It's love of money that is the root of all evil. Love means agape, accepting regardless, meaning that you are ready to do anything for money regardless of the cost. So the cost of this mindset or this block will be in your wealth creation. You'll be repelling wealth. Like the examples that you're giving, you will have guilt in giving. And you don't know that giving is a spiritual and psychological principle for wealth creation. How much do I have? I know how much I work hard. I will not be giving to somebody when you are able to give. I'm not saying you should give everybody. There are too many entitlements-driven people around us. But that should not shut you to giving, because you are activating some energies by giving. The hand of the giver is always at the top. That's the truth. You think you are losing it, you are not losing it. It's coming back to you, good measure, shaking together, pressed down, shaking together, and running over. But you will have guilt-driven giving. You have this mindset, this block. Financial stability will be the cost for you also, and learning aversion about what others are doing. You will be averse to learning. You will have a fixed mindset. How do you reframe this? How do you upgrade it before you do that? Score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 also for money shame and moral confusion block. Our time is almost up quickly. So how do you reframe this? Reframe it is about words. This life is largely a battle of words. Words you're saying now, words you're saying inside to yourself. So anchor yourself with this statement to reframe the meaning that is driving this block. Money amplifies consciousness. It doesn't corrupt it. Money only amplifies your consciousness. It doesn't corrupt it. Love of money is the root of evil. That is, pursuing money at all costs is the root of evil, not money in itself. Money is needed. Wealth only reveals your untamed character. It doesn't create that character. So if you see anybody with a bad untamed character because they are wealthy, it's not wealth that created it. Wealth only revealed the character that they refuse to unlearn or tame. Because of time, we quickly move on to number 7. The 7th one, fear of visibility and success guilt block. Fear of visibility and success guilt block. Moment here. Permit me to wrap up in 10 minutes. Fear of visibility and success guilt block. What do I mean by this? I battle with this. I'm still battling a bit with it. I've not conquered this one fully. By the virtue of being a medical doctor by background training, you have been programmed from medical school not to advertise what you do. It's unethical to be advertising your clinical services, actually, based on a practical or a oath of practice. So it followed me into the consulting one, into the executive, into what I'm doing now. Posting on social media was a tug of war. 2018, 2017, 2019, 2020, 2021. Posting was a tug of war. Sharing testimonials. Till today, I struggle with it. We gather the testimonial, I don't even bother. They send messages to me on WhatsApp, I don't bother to forward it to my team. I have a team of people that should be handling it. I just discard it. That's why it should not be out there. And attention is the new currency in today's world. Attention is the new currency in today's world. Attention. You got to make noise. Silence is a thief of your money in today's world. Silence. You may be the best in that field, but if you are silent, somebody that is 40-30% of your capacity, that is making a lot of noise about it, will get more clients, will do better than you. It's not a cause. Fear of visibility and success guilt block. So it manifests in statements, subconscious statements like, if I shine too much, they will envy me, they will attack me, they will target show off, or they will label me unspiritual or unprofessional. Until you get here. And if they never get you, they come gradually if you don't remove that block. If I show ruthless execution, that is, if you are ruthless in the way you execute on your goals, whether professionally or personally, or if I show doggedness in my pursuit of what I want to achieve, whether fitness or health or wealth or happiness, or if I set boundaries and I'm dogged about these boundaries, or if I'm detail-oriented, I'm meticulous with details, people will start thinking I'm desperate. I'm doing too much. I be over sabianti. Or I have OCD. A staff had told a colleague of his before in my office, so it eventually got to me. I think Dr. Sas has OCD. Because if you are writing a memo or you are sending a mail and you send it to me before it goes out, even if it's a command that is there, you go and correct it. If it's a dot, you go and correct it. I don't know how to overlook it. But I like it that way. It's an excellence mindset. You go and correct it. If you finish our meeting in the conference room, I expect you to return back your chair. Tuck the chair back in. It matters. It's a programming for your brain, for your consciousness. So the cost of having this fear of visibility and success guilt block is that you start playing small. You start shrinking in your capacity. You start even shifting away from your real identity in order not to offend others. You start shaking or breaking some boundaries to accommodate those that you are not supposed to accommodate. You start hiding your talents. You become inconsistent. You are excellent in an area of your life, you are no longer excellent in another area. You are dogged in pursuit of one area of your life, you are no longer dogged in the other area. Then you start normalizing mediocrity before you realize it. Then you start complaining when you are not getting results. Score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10. Fear of visibility and success guilt block. If you don't have this at all, score it 10 over 10. If you have it a bit tiny, maybe 8 or 9 or 7 over 10. But if you have it massively, score it 0 or 1 or 2. But no moderately, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. How do you reframe or fix this or upgrade your consciousness to remove this block? It's also a battle of words. It's all about meaning in your head. Subconscious meaning you give to things. And you can anchor on your soul these statements by repeatedly speaking it to yourself. Visibility attracts opportunity faster than it attracts danger. Visibility attracts opportunity faster than it attracts danger. Whatever danger they've told you about visibility, that visibility will attract opportunity faster than the danger. And with the opportunities, you will deal with the danger once you have grabbed the opportunities. Also, excellence is in reality exceeding expectations consistently. Excellence is in reality not just meeting expectation, but exceeding it consistently. And people reward excellence as a matter of time. Also, another one you want to anchor on your soul. Every opportunity to showcase your work or my work, if you want to anchor it and personalize it, is a brand that you are creating and an history in the making. Every opportunity to showcase your work is a brand you are creating and an history in the making. All right? Lastly, I only live once, and as such, I must live the best version available. It's another anchor for your soul. So I'll give you one bonus to make it 8, and there's a reason why I'm adding this one bonus to it. We're going to do a wheel of our health and wellness in 2026. It's an assignment I will leave you with. The last one is not the least, but it's very important. We use it to wrap up now in the next 5 minutes. What is this 8th block? Score yourself for 7 also. What is this 8th block? Waiting for conditions to improve syndrome block. Waiting for conditions to improve syndrome block. All right? A lot of times, you have been programmed to wait till everything is perfect. The coast is clear. I can see clearly. All the resources are complete. I have all the things I need. I have all the knowledge. Before you move, it's a block. It's a consciousness block. You don't understand how this universe operates. You think universe responds to perfection. You have been deceived. The universe does not respond to perfection. As a matter of fact, go and get the book Suffering the Edge of Chaos. There's a beauty in entropy. There's a beauty in chaos. It excites this universe when there's chaos. In fact, even God is excited by your impurity, your imperfections. So you have been wrongly programmed. Your gap in your consciousness has allowed you to be wrongly programmed in the way you see perfection. This manifests in this kind of blocks. When Nigeria or our currency gets better, then I will start saving. Or I will start learning about stocks to invest in it. When I get better paying job, I will start saving 20%. You don't save 20% at 150,000 naira now. You will struggle to save 20% at 500,000 naira salary. Why? Parkinson's rule. Expenses will always rise to meet a rising income. When you were at 150,000 naira monthly salary, you were comfortable with eating at that booker, roadside booker, 1,000 naira lunch, 1,500 naira lunch was okay with you. You were not irritated by the gutter. You're not irritated by the yalamala with Iro and Buba. But the moment you move to 500,000 naira, that fancy restaurant that you have been seeing, that the thing done the pepper, you say your colleagues, they go there, your senior colleagues. Now, I deserve to go there. I know that you deserve to go there. But there's something called delayed gratification if you are wise. Or you, because you are not wise, you upgrade your lunch. Every blessed work day, you spend 4,000 and 5,000 naira for lunch, moving from 1,000 naira. Then you start thinking that shirt of 3,000 naira you did wear before, come on, levels unchanged. Start buying 18,000 naira, 16,000 naira shirts. Now I can't enter bus again, Uber, to and fro. Then you discover that you're not able to save. Where has my 500,000 naira gone? Parkinson's rule has caught up with it because of your consciousness block. You are waiting. You didn't create that programming for yourself at the lower level. Oh, when I jackpot, then I will start dressing well. Then we start living the life I want to live. I will start doing exercise. I will start doing my fitness. I will start prioritizing my head. Then I will start traveling. You will not do it when you get there. You have not programmed yourself to do it now. When I move into a more comfortable and presentable environment or home, then we start doing content creation and be posting. The house I did now, the house fits for content creation. I can't post. There are people that are using rural area to do content creation and doing well. You have a perfection block, a lack of consciousness or consciousness block of waiting for conditions to improve. Waiting has become your hiding place. To hide from taking responsibility and moving. The cost is that you will miss timing, your divine timing. You will miss it. You will start creating or forming unproductive habits. Each time you are repeatedly delaying, you are programming your brain. Neurological pathway is forming for it, for delaying, for procrastinating, for waiting for perfection or perfect time. It's a program until it becomes habit. Whatever you repeatedly do for 21 to 60 days, it becomes a habit. And when you keep doing it again, it becomes a lifestyle. For 60 to 90 days, it becomes a lifestyle because that pathway becomes reinforced. Unproductive habits become fun and becomes difficult for you to break, even when you now move. You now realize that you have wasted 7-10 years of your life because you are waiting for the perfect time. You have regret and guilt, and the case not taking the regret and guilt will lead you to apathy. You start giving up. That will not be your portion, I pray. So, score yourself on a scale of 0 to 10 for waiting for conditions to improve syndrome block. And how do you fix this? How do you upgrade your consciousness to remove this block? By reframing. It's still a battle of words. It's still a battle of words internally in your head. What you're saying internally, subconsciously, and saying to yourself to form your identity. So, one of the things you need to say to yourself, to anchor to your soul, is this. Farmers don't wait for rain to plant. They tend and wait. They plant rather, tend it, and wait for rain. Farmers don't wait for rain to plant. They plant, tend it, then wait for rain. Also, another one to anchor to your soul that I will leave you with. It's not the storm that capsizes the boat. Like I said earlier on, it's the water that gets into the boat during the storm. So don't, because of the storm, stop moving. When you stop moving because of the storm, water will have access to your boat easily. Things are not looking clear, but keep doing something. As a matter of fact, the universe works against stagnation. When water is stagnant, it breeds all manners of parasites. If you are in the midst of crowd, let's say on an express, and everybody is moving and you stand still, most likely you will be a victim of stampede. You will be a victim of stampede. The universe works against, conspires against, it is not moving. But the more you move, the more you orchestrate or stir up the universe to work in your favor. You're stirring up energy in the universe to work in your favor. The more you move, do something. It could be volunteer. It could be learning. It could be speaking to someone. It could be going to an environment to see what they're doing. It could be researching. Do something. It could be starting it where you are, even though it's not looking perfect. When I wanted to release my first book in 2013, I felt the standard I want for my book, I don't have the money yet. I don't have all the knowledge yet. Until I met a friend of mine during our training in coaching. I had the training in 2010, Paul Fo. The guy is a sales guru. And he showed me 2 books he has written. And he has sold, he said somebody ordered for 1,000 copies. And I said, what? And I said, with this kind of printing. He said, sit down for there. That gingered me, and I eventually published my own book, first book, in 2013, December. By January 2014, I received a call. The person said, I just flew into Abuja from so place now. The woman beside me is the wife of a governor. There was a book she was reading. She went to the toilet and dropped the book. I just picked it up. The topic attracted me from stress to awareness. I picked it up just to quickly look through it, and I became fascinated about it. An idea cropped in my mind. So I quickly picked your number. That's why I have your number. I called you. My office is in Lekki Phase 1. Can we talk about this idea that can make money for you and I? Make money, why not? I live in Lekki Phase 1. So 3 days after she was in Lekki Phase 1, we met up at her office. That's MTech Communication. They are the first VAS company in West Africa. And she opened my eyes to the world of VAS, value added service. When you subscribe in those days, SMS for stress tips, send social code to this to get it for health tip or fitness tip. Say, so can I turn this book into a 365 days of short tips, no more than I think 160 words or so. No, I can't remember, 160 letters or so. Luckily, it was from social tips that I put the book together. So within 2 weeks, I was able to do that. And that's how the deal started for MTN. For Airtel, no, it wasn't Airtel then. I can't remember now. Is it Tisala? No, it's not. Can't remember the name of Airtel then. Glow, the 4 networks, and that's why I became the one providing the content for stress tips across board, for health tips and weight fitness tips. So, ladies and gentlemen, to wrap it up, enough of waiting for conditions to improve this year. Start from where you are. Start from where you are. All right? So, I conclude by saying to you, these 8 blocks that you have scored yourself. Now, what I want you to do, I will draw it out for you. So, what you do, you draw a big circle. Draw a big circle like this. Draw the first line to divide it into 2 equal halves. And a second line to divide it into 2 equal halves, into 4 equal parts, like this. Then for each of the quadrants, divide them into half, each of the quadrants, across board like that. Alright, like this. So this intersection point is 0. Then you calibrate one of the lines from 0 to 10. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just like the way I calibrated this now. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright? Now, this represents the will of your health and wealth in 2026. The wheel your bicycle of health and wealth will be riding on. Now, for each of the 8 blocks, check your score. Take the first spoke of the wheel, this one, as representing your number one block. And what's the number one block? I'm just an ordinary human being, nothing special or exceptional about me. Identity block. If you score yourself 4/10 there, star it like this, under the first spoke. Move to the second block. What's your score there? You score yourself 8. 8 will be corresponding to the mark of 8 here. So star it. For the third spoke of the wheel is the third block, religious bypassing or responsibility block. What's your score there? You score 5 there. Where is the point on this spoke that corresponds to 5? Around there. Star it also, so that you have a star on each of the spoke. Another one, depending on your score. Another one. All right, another one. There are 8 representing the 8 blocks. Now, once you have gotten that, you now connect the points of your scores on each of the spoke, like this. So you now shade the inside. You shade the inside. The shape you get is the wheel your bicycle or your power bike of your health and wellness is running on presently. The question you should now ask yourself: if I continue throughout this year with this kind of wheel, how will my journey feel like? Don't give me the answer. The answer is left to you. And on that note, I will quickly, our time is far gone. I will leave the floor. If I see any question, I don't think there's any question. You may need to, somebody say I'm on this table. Tell guy, don't worry. We are all on one table or the other. First of all, I don't say I'm so much on this last one. Kemi said, absolutely. Oh, Kemi, how are you? All right. Steph Red, I cite you. Magneto, I cite you. So, we come to the end of this session. Please go back and watch this recording. It will be available on my page by God's grace very soon. Go back and watch this and digest it and practice it. And look at your will and be intentional about your health and wealth in 2026. You're unstoppable. God bless you for your time. Have a lovely evening. Bye.